I'm Chris, and Elon's not here today, guys. This is Single Dad Homestead, brought to you from the beautiful Appalachian Mountains in northeast Tennessee. Guys, Elon decided she didn't want to join me on this video. It's not really what she enjoys to do as far as coming up and do this. This would be one she'd have to sit around for. So, it's been a couple of days since we've put anything out. We're both doing a lot better. Both of our sinus colds have cleared up, so it's good. Today's video is going to cover probably the most popular question I've had to me since we did the collaboration with Justin Rhodes and the firearm safety video. And that question we'll get to in a few minutes. Go over a few things we've been doing here. We've hatched off some chicks. So we've got baby chicks chirping downstairs like crazy, which is always fun. It snowed today. It was 62 degrees on the mountain yesterday, and it's snowing outside. What's going on? This is craziness. I've got seeds planted and starts coming up, transplanted off the last video you guys saw and stuff like that. So it's crazy. With everything being said, and saying that this was a gun video, once again, I am directing this toward the homesteading community and to those that really don't like guns. So I think everybody that enjoys firearms or thinks that they're a practical tool on the homestead, as well as being a practical tool in everyday life, it'll be beneficial to you. But for those that that may necessarily not like firearms or weapons, it's there. This is not a political view or anything of that nature. It's just me talking about something that I'm passionate about, as well as knowledgeable about. So we're going to share that information with you today. Before we get started, I want to read something to you. Once again, like I said, this is not a politically based video. It's not pushing my political beliefs on you. I'm going to read something to you that I don't think a lot of people have read in its entirety. It's very short, but I think you might be surprised, even those of you who think you are very well versed. So I'm going to read it to you, and then I'm going to tell you what it is. Got to put on my spectacles to read. Okay. It says, a well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of the free states, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. Let me repeat that. A well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of free states, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. That is your Second Amendment, guys. That's in the Constitution. So go read it. Everybody thinks it just says you have the right to own and bear arms. It's not. It's very specific on why you have the right to own and bear arms. And that each and every one of you have an obligation that live in this country and call yourselves Americans. So keep that in mind when people talk about firearms. The difference of modern day society and our founding fathers, in my opinion, and I say this a little bit in the class with Justin on his video, is I think the difference of today and our founding fathers that founded this country is one thing, and that's training. You say, huh? How's that? Everybody that came over on the Mayflower, the Pinta, all the ships that brought everybody over in the original part, they all had a basic knowledge of firearms. Not the firearms we have today, but a basic knowledge of firearms. A basic knowledge of skills, homesteading skills, to a certain extent. A lot of the people that came over to the new country when they founded America, you know, they didn't know how to garden. They didn't know how to put out big plantations of food and stuff. They were lawyers and religious groups of people that were looking to get freedom of persecution and religion. But they had a basic knowledge. They could start a fire. They could camp outside under the stars if they needed to. they could load and fire a firearm. Even, you know, your upper class aristocrats and stuff like that, they carry pistols and things of that nature to defend themselves. So it's the knowledge that we're lacking. That's the string, I think, that's been broken from founding fathers to today, is the knowledge of firearms and what they're used for and the practical reason to use those. So with that all being said, we're going to talk about what I think, these are my opinions on what I think are the best choices for a firearm for your homestead. And that's the question I've been asked. I've gotten a lot of emails, actually. I don't know if people are afraid to lay those comments down sometimes in the comments, but I've gotten quite a few emails asking me, Chris, what do you think the best firearm is to have on the homestead? And we're going to go over a couple of different options and choices, and then I'm going to tell you why I don't think one or another is appropriate for an overall, I can have one firearm on the homestead. I would prefer to have 3 firearms on the homestead, and I'll tell you that at the end, or somewhere in the middle. You know how I get off on my rants. So what we're going to start out with, we're not going to pull out any firearms today. We're going to look at ammunition. And ammunition will tell you a little better story than what the firearm itself will, because you'll be able to visualize, I think, better why I'm saying these. To all you gun guys that are watching this, to all you gun girls that are watching this, this is my opinion. This is what I think. I don't think I'll get too many arguments with my choices. One of them I will, just because it's a little bit less common. But I think it's a very good option if you can find one and can afford. Every one of these firearms I'm getting ready to tell you, you can purchase a quality version of these firearms for under $300. In most cases, you can find one for $100, $150. So we're going to go out with the smallest caliber that we're going to start with, and that's the .22 long rifle. Now, the .22 long rifle is a very effective firearm, or caliber in a firearm, and this is the .22 long rifle round. And I'm going to show you all these individually, and then I'm going to show you what they look like together. So that's the .22 long rifle. It's a rimfire. And a rimfire, the difference in a rimfire, I'm going to show you on a big shotgun shell. The difference in a rimfire is there's no little button in the back that has to be hit. And if you see that round circle in the center, if I can get this to focus, that is a center fire. That is where the hammer has to hit to engage this. So this is a rimfire round, is the .22 long rifle. With that, I don't think the .22 long rifle is the best caliber for the homestead. I think it's a good caliber. Everybody on the homestead can fire this round, but I'm going to show you 3 other rounds actually that everybody on the homestead from a child of appropriate age up can do. So that's the .22 long rifle. The next one, I'm going to show you all of them, then I'll tell you what I think is the best, is the .22 Magnum, which is a little bit longer round, but the actual bullet, which is this part, is the bullet. This part is the casing. This bullet, or the round, there is exactly the same as the .22 long rifle. Now, the difference between the two, and I'll add these together, I think, as we go, is this. Let's see if I can get it held up there so you can see the difference in that round. So it's quite a bit larger. This is more appropriate, I think, for the homestead. It is a more effective, got more powder behind it. It's going to push a little harder. It's going to have a little more knockdown power than what the .22 long rifle is. You can tend to find the .22 Magnum in a little bit different configuration. Most of the time when you find .22 long rifle, it's going to be in lead or a copper jacketed lead bullet. So, you know, if you're concerned about the lead part of it, it's there. Here's another .22 caliber. The .22 Magnum is also a rimfire as well, just like the .22 long rifle. The next caliber that we're going to talk to you about is a little larger, and that is the .22 Hornet. And it's a little bit bigger. I'll show you with the other 2 rounds in a second, but it is a center fire round. So it has to hit in the middle to engage that round. So let's see if I can maybe line these up in my fingers here. if I can hold them the right way. Let's see. It's not going to do it. So let's do it like this. There's all three of these rounds together. So the far one here is 22 Hornet, middle one's 22 Magnum, and the small one at the end of my thumb with my finger right here is the 22 long rifle. You can see the difference. All three of these rounds have the exact same projectile in them, a 22 caliber projectile. Those are the three rifle, that would be a rifle. Those are the three rifle calibers that I would suggest. All of them are 22. They each just have a little bit more power. That's the rifle that I would recommend for everybody on a homestead to have. You can put down the 22 long rifle. You can put down a pig with these. You can put down a goat. I wouldn't try to put down a full-grown cow, but you can. You're going to have a very large margin of error. So if you're like me and you don't want that large margin of error, don't do it. The 22 Magnum is probably the best caliber 22 that you could get for the homestead. In my opinion, that's the one that you should have. That should be the rifle on your homestead. You can buy a Savage 22 Magnum, or WMR, which is what the Magnum is listed at. You can buy one of those for under $150 at Walmart, a Savage, and they're very, very nice firearms. So there you go. That would be my recommendation. I keep the 22 Hornet, which is the larger of the three rounds. I keep this on the homestead. And here is why. Here's the difference in why I keep this on the homestead. This round is a lot harder to find the firearm. The bullets aren't really that hard to find. The ammunition isn't too bad. You can find them at Academy or Dick's or Gander Mountain, Cabela's, Bass Pro, just about any place. They're a little harder to find at like Walmart, but you can. This round is a center fire, and in most states, you can actually hunt large game with this round. So if you want to be able to provide venison, deer meat, anything like that, I wouldn't try to shoot a bear with this, but I definitely I have taken deer with this caliber. It's really fast. It hits a lot harder than the other two in the 22 Magnum and the 22 long rifle, but it's harder to find. So the availability and the commonality of the 22 Magnum is a lot easier. So that's the one I recommend for homesteaders on the homestead in a rifle. Now, I'm going to show you what we're going to look at in shotguns. So that's another good option to go to. We talked about that with Justin Rhodes in his video about how to safely and humanely harvest a hog, is the 410 and the 12 gauge. Now they're both about the same height. They come in different sizes, but you can see the difference in diameter on these two. I love a 12 gauge, but it's a little overkill for harvesting even pigs and cows and stuff like that with the slug. It's just too big. You're talking about, you know, almost 3/4 inch diameter slug that would be coming out of these. Now they're great for birds and things like that. If you're hunting, it's overall the best shotgun that I think you can have if you're going to hunt large game, birds, home defense, anything. But this little round right here, which is what Justin ended up putting down his hogs with, is the 410. Whoa, I dropped it. Is the 410, and this is actually a slug round. So if you look in there, you can see that large projectile in there. Okay, and it comes out, it's a single slug. It's almost like a rifle. But the knockdown, the power, the impact of when you shoot, so if you're shooting that hog and you're coming down between the eyes and you're shooting it in there, it knocks them out, it disables them, it kills them. Whereas when you're using the 22 and stuff, it stuns them, it puts them down, it will kill them, but you have a chance of it just knocking them out, and then things can get a little bit harder. So, in my opinion, these are the two best homesteading firearms that you can have: the 22 Magnum and the 410 shotgun. With those two rounds, you can handle anything on the farm. You can hunt with the 410 for larger game. You don't really want to go too much further than 25 yards on that, 25, 30 yards, to hunt large game such as deer and things of that nature. A lot of youth will start out with that. You can hunt turkeys, you can hunt other things with them. The margin of error on wild game with that round when you're hunting birds is much larger. But when you're talking about on the homestead to put down and harvest animals, the 410, in my opinion, beats the 22 Magnum. The 22 Magnum is very close there. So those are two firearms that you can look at going out and incorporating into your homestead. Both of them are wonderful. If you don't have that, you can look at different types of ammunition and things of that nature. And if you have questions on that, such as if you have a 20 gauge or a 12 gauge is all you have and you can't afford to go buy something else, you can buy what they call high brass, low brass. You can buy a 2 1/4 inch shells up to 3.5 inch Magnum shells. There's a lot of technical stuff that you can go on. So if you're not a gun person, send me an email, send me a comment down below, and I'll discuss some of that stuff with you. A little bit too much information to go into on this video, but we will we'll definitely do some more on those. But it's kind of quick to talk about firearms. You can get into a lot of detail on ballistics and coefficiencies and reloading and all this good stuff. But in my opinion, if you're not a gun person, but you feel that you need one of those tools on your homestead, those are the two calibers I would suggest. But before you go buy one, go get some training. Go find a good NRA class, a good instructor. Go to your local gun range. I know you don't like them, that's fine. But knowledge will save your life. Even if you don't like them, guys, knowledge, training on anything you do. It's just like if you're gardening. You may plant 1 year in a back to Eden garden. You may plant 1 year in a raised bed. You may plant directly in the soil. It's tools, it's knowledge, it's everything that you're putting together and keeping there that allow you to be productive and have a large garden, it to be plentiful and bountiful for your family. If you're going to have a firearm or there's going to be a firearm around, everyone in the house, everyone needs to understand the safety rules. Keep your fingers straight and off the trigger. Always point the firearm in a safe direction and know what lies beyond your target, before your target, and around your target before you ever shoot, so that you can be safe. Know how to engage your children if they happen to pick up a firearm at a friend's house, at a grandparent's house, or in your own home. How to calmly and coolly retrieve that weapon from that child, be able to place it into a safe position, and then whatever you do from there, I don't think you should scare the child, but whoever left that firearm out, if it be yourself or be a relative or a friend or whoever, then you address them on a different level, away from the child. Don't scare them. If you scare them about it, there's going to be issues. The curiosity, I think, increases when you do that. So, with that said, we'll go into a million more questions. I'm sure I'm going to get some haters on this one, but that's okay. If you like the video, give us a thumbs up. Hit the subscribe button for us. Share these videos with us, with other people. And, you know, we're at, I think it's 896 or 97 subscribers right now. We're really close to that 1,000 mark. So do that. Help us out. Hit the notification bell. You'll get some notifications of where it's at. I know I had mentioned doing a live. Right now that's not going to work. Our internet is not working at a level of where we can go live. It's taken me 6 or 7 hours to upload a video. That's why there's been fewer videos coming out the last week or so. We're just having some issues. Once that gets figured out, we're going to do some lives. Everybody said yeah, they wanted to see that. To those of you that I'm sending some stuff for, it's still in my head. I still got you there. I've just not had time to get to the post office and stuff here lately. So anyway, hit the like button, hit the notification bell, share this on Facebook, Twitter, wherever you want to share it. Feel free to do that. God bless. Live with what God gives you, and we're out of here.